Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate it very much. And first of all, I want to associate my comments with Dr. Rowe. Our Blue Water Navy veterans have waited too long. And my question for the entire panel will start with Dr. Sullivan. Given the recent history, how do you believe the VA and DOD should work together and with Congress and stakeholders to address future toxic exposure issues to ensure that we have evidence-based scientific data necessary to determine whether a disability is linked to military service? Again, we've obviously, Agent Orange, our Vietnam veterans, have waited too long over the years, and now we have the toxic waste. We have you know, what's going on in Iraq and Afghanistan, the burn pit issue. And we've got to get this right, and our heroes waiting too long, and we have to work together because it's just not fair. So Dr. Sullivan, please, if you can answer that question, I would appreciate it. And if the panel has any input, please give it to us.
Thank you for the question, sir. Undoubtedly, VA needs to work with DOD and Congress to address these veterans' needs. I think the person on this panel that could best speak to that would be Dr. Hastings, so I'm going to refer this question to her.
Okay, that's fine. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Sir, we work with DOD very closely in post-deployment health services at the VA. We have a deployment health working group that meets monthly. We have other groups that work on issues. Congress has been very helpful to us with the Airborne Hazards Open Burn Pit Registry, which is very active, and we are starting to data mine that. We also have worked very closely with your help with the National Academy of Science, Engineering, and Medicine to answer some of the questions that are important to veterans. One thing that we are doing that is very exciting is the individual longitudinal exposure record. In my office right now, we have 6 registries. We have the Agent Orange Registry, the Gulf War Registry, the Toxic Embedded Fragment Registry, the DU Registry, Depleted Uranium, Airborne Hazards. So these are separate registries, but if we're working with DOD on the individual longitudinal exposure record, which would be a record that starts the day that the person signs into basic. It would include all of their deployments, where they've been, any monitoring that's done in the area, and we would be proactively looking at exposures. We would be able to build cohorts. For example, if we found out there was a problem later on, as we did at Karmat Ali, the water treatment plant in Iraq, that there was chromium there, and we're following those veterans right now. There are about 700 of them. We would be able to say, there's been a problem here, we need to look at these people specifically. We would be able to get a hold of people better. We would be able to build cohorts for research, but the individual longitudinal exposure record is extremely powerful. It goes into its initial operating phase this fall, and it's been with your help that we've been able to do that.
Thank you. But I want to make a statement. How about giving them the benefit of the doubt and giving them health care immediately, the VA? All right, I'll go on to the next question for Mr. Sullivan. Mr. Sullivan, what criteria does the department use to award contracts for the Veterans Legacy Program?
Yes, Congressman. We have several criteria for the legacy contracts. First, only universities or nonprofit education organizations may apply. The teams that are working on developing the Veterans Legacy Program material must be led by tenure-track faculty with terminal degrees. Undergraduates and graduates that are engaged in veterans research must be researching in an instructional context, or in other words, it must be part of coursework. Faculty teams must partner with local K-12 teachers who will engage their students. Students will research veterans interred in national cemeteries of focus near the near the universities or colleges that are working on developing these products. Students must visit the national cemetery of focus. Students that are conducting research must produce research in a form that will be accessible to the public. Faculty teams must work with their K through 12 partners to produce instructional materials that are standards aligned, and they must develop at least 5 lesson plans for use in K through 12 education and define plans to extend the memorialization of veterans' legacy. The project plans must include designs for instruments to assess the effectiveness of student participation in the program, and the students must participate in either Memorial Day or Veterans Day ceremonies at the national cemeteries of focus.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for your testimony. I yield back, Madam Chair. Thank you.